I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I went to Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn, New York. At 26 years old, it was a 802 Musicians Union funded college program for professional musicians. Growing up in my household, I had a lot of musical influence. My parents had a very large record collection. My father was into the big bands, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, but my mother is the one that gave me my eclectic taste in music. Her record collection consisted of folk music like Pete Seeger, the Limelighters, Odetta, Harry Belafonte. She loved Johnny Mathis, but she also had a lot of jazz. I remember her having Miles Davis record, Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, and also she liked rock and roll. As a kid growing up, I spent all my time in Brooklyn, New York, which was a great place to grow up. I went to school in Brooklyn, public school, junior high school, and college eventually. I got my musical training from my mother originally. She taught me my first chords on the guitar, and then I took lessons with various teachers as the years went on, but I got most of my music training from listening to music and using my ear until I got into jazz. I realized that I had to learn theory and harmony and learn how to read and write music, which I began to do. And then when I went to college at age 26, it was a specialized music program. And we got into everything from ear training to studying classical music and composing and arranging and all that stuff. And the professors were from Juilliard and Manhattan School. It was 2 days a week. I made a lot of lifetime friends in that program. I had one friend, Elliot Goldenthal, and we had a band in high school. And I stayed friends with him over the years, and he ended up being a big-time film composer. Probably my biggest influence listening to jazz guitarists was Kenny Burrell. I remember at 18 years old listening to Tal Farlow in my friend's basement, a little hideaway. And I remember listening to Pat Martino and Wes Montgomery, but Kenny is my biggest influence. My guitar style, I would say, is I focus on melody and phrasing more than being flashy and playing fast. I first got interested in jazz at 18 years old. You have to understand that I've been playing the guitar since I'm 7. And of course I was a big rock and roller. And there was a lot of jazz in my household that was being listened to. So I always had it, was exposed to it. But I started really getting interested in jazz when I was about 18. I wrote my first song probably when I was 11 years old. I remember it was called Psychedelic Farkas. And I will not grace you with the lyrics, but it was very funny. I've always been a creative person, and I've written hundreds and hundreds of songs, so it's not a mystery that I'm going to keep expressing myself through my music. For me, the genre of music that I'm playing is going to give me my choice of what guitar to use. So I have a nice collection of instruments, but for jazz, I'm playing Peerless guitars. And Peerless is a great company, manufactured in South Korea, and the build quality is wonderful. They feel and they sound wonderful. At this point in my life and my career, I basically practice new songs. I practice my own songs, because if I don't know how to play my own songs, I'm really in trouble. And if there's a new technique or something that I feel like I want to learn, I will definitely take some time out and practice. But I have a very heavy gigging schedule, so it's hard to find time every day, like we did when we were kids, to sit and practice 2 hours a day. Somebody I respect greatly told me a long time ago that the spaces between the notes are just as important as the notes themselves. What I would like to see happen from this point in my career would be to record and compose a lot of really good music, play with a lot of great musicians, and travel and see the world. I meet and I talk to a lot of younger jazz players in their 20s, and my biggest advice to them is get your head out of the real book. It's important, of course, to read music and to write music and to know all your theory and harmony, but you have to learn to listen. You have to jump into the fire and stop relying so much on reading the charts and use your ear, because that's what it's about. It's all about using your ear. I think learning theory and harmony and reading and writing is extremely important. Those are all tools. But all those tools mean nothing if you don't hear the music and if you don't listen. My new album, Lil Noir, has 10 original compositions. It's very important to me because each of those compositions was kind of an homage to an artist or a style that really influenced me. And I believe that's true with any writer. Everybody's styles and what they write is influenced by what they listen to. But I really love the material, and I'm happy with the music, and I think it's a great album. You're gonna like it.